Well, after a dramatic win yesterday, the Falmouth Commodores are back at the Gov today, trying to snag hold of a playoff spot in the Western Division, at least for right now. Carter Bainbridge, along with Trey, Redfield, and Logan Soforenko, your broadcast team today on the Falmouth Commodores YouTube channel. Welcome to Opening the Door. Trey, we saw up close and personal yesterday the Dores play one of the games of the summer against the Bourne Braves in this ballpark.
It wasn't just a battle, it was a war out there, Carter. There were 3 runs put up by the Dores in the first, 1 in the second, but nothing after that. That's all they needed at the end of the day. It was a 4-3 win over Bourne last night for Falmouth, thanks to some help on the defensive side. Another 5-out save from Joey Ryan, and a diving catch by Travis Chestnut in the top of the 8th inning with bases loaded and 2 outs. Where else would you rather be? This is a spot to be tonight, knowing how important today is, too.
The Dores took down one of the hottest teams on the Cape in the Bourne Braves, who came into that game on a winning streak, but no longer. The Dores won 4-3 thanks to some dramatic late-inning magic from Joey Ryan and some others. But now, Logan, they try to get this 4th place spot today against the team they're currently tied for that position with, the Wareham Gatemen.
Yeah, game number 31 coming into today. Still a lot of baseball left, but anytime you can wind up in a playoff spot, that's always a good day. When the Wareham Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores have squared off this year, it's been a couple of nice contests. Haven't been too separated. They've been really close games. The last time these two teams squared off against each other, it was a 6-4 loss that went in favor of the Wareham Gatemen. We saw some late inning heroics from Hogan Windish in the 9th inning, and he continues to punish the Falmouth Commodores, hitting well over 340 against the Dores this season. But the Dores have a 2-game win streak coming into today, and also in that win streak, 2 straight games not committing any errors.
And 2 straight games winning by just a single run. So finally the Dores getting some clutch production down the stretch and coming out on the good side of some tight contest. Trey, today the Dores try to keep the train rolling because they send right-hander Jerron Watts-Brown to the mound.
It's the right guy on the mound, too. Jerron just needs to get the run support today. It's so important for the Dores to score a lot early, like we saw yesterday, to get Jerron into that groove. That's something Watts-Brown has really needed all season. We've seen a lot of bright spots from him this year, but they haven't been the brightest because he hasn't gotten the run support. So if everything comes together to help out the guy on the mound, Watts-Brown and the Dores should be just fine today.
So Watts-Brown, a power arm out of the Dores starting rotation, who has been here the entire summer. They get an experienced guy on the mound, but he's facing off against a tough starter for Wareham, Logan.
Yeah, Jack Sokol had a very fine year in the 2022 season, but he's only made 1 appearance with the Wareham Gatemen this summer. He had 2.25 ERA, a couple of strikeouts, but he's had a little bit of an interesting college career. Went from Auburn, spent a little time with the Tigers, played some JUCO ball, as you like to call them, the JUCO products, transferring to Pitt in the fall. So should be fun to see him on. You mentioned Jerron Watts-Brown. This is only his 2nd home start. It always seems that he's tossing on the road, and he's had 6 starts this season coming into today. All of them have been against different teams, so it should be a fun one.
Jerron's also been a hard luck starter this year for Falmouth in terms of decisions. He enters the day 1-3. Of course, that doesn't tell the whole story, but Trey, you have the starters, you have some key players in this matchup, but what do you have for Trey's takes for today's matchup?
I have Trey's takes for today. It's to basically do what you did yesterday and get going early, but keep it going. You know, that's something the Commodores really need to do today. We saw the 3 spot in the first, the 1 spot in the second, but absolutely nothing after. A lot of hitters going 3 up, 3 down. That can't happen today. Knowing how well Wareham is on the other side, this is a much better hitting team, I would argue, than Bourne. We've talked about it a lot, you and I, Carter, where it's the best 3 in the lineup. You know, Max Anderson and Hogan Windish are going to be that 2 and 3 spot. That's their 1-2 punch right there in the Gatemen, and that's just expected for runs to be exploded upon, right? So it's really important for the Dores to get it done offensively. We need the 1-2 punch of Alex Mooney and Colby Halter to get it going. Maybe a couple of fist bumps, a couple of words like, let's do this, to get the Dores on top. Huge games today. I'd argue, boys, game of the year.
So there you have it. You have Jerron Watts-Brown starting for Falmouth and a couple keys offensively for the Dores to keep up a more consistent rhythm at the plate than what we saw yesterday when they burst out with 3 runs in the first and then tailed off in that game. That's the key today against the Wareham Gatemen with 4th place in the Western Division on the line. It's the Dores and the Gatemen at 6 p.m. today at the Gov. Trey, Redfield, and Logan Soforenko will be on the broadcast. I'll be down on the field today. We'll see you for first pitch soon. This has been Opening the Door.